Welcome back, everyone, to Pillars of Eternity. Okay, so I checked all over that burned area. He's not there. Persoc is not there. So I am going to assume that it's somewhere we haven't found yet, because that's the only really burned area I could think of. I come to see the cornerstone with the blessings of the guided compass. Always too cozy with the Estramoran. Go then, mind you step around our sacred stones. Yes, of course. Oh, wait, actually... right, the Celestial Sapling. We should go deliver the message. Simok's hearth will not have warmed for the foster child. Oh, there's just an ogre hanging out. Okay. Okay, so it seems like the Celestial Sapling is its own little sort of side area, which is fine. Oh, it's a tavern. Oh, with an ogre as a bouncer. You see a problem, I throw it over the side. Haggard shoes.
Gods keep you.
Well, whoever... Oh, yo, what's up?
Well met, friend.
It's good to see someone from more civilized lands around here. I'm learning firsthand the many shortcomings of Glonfothan hospitality. I can almost forgive the hostility towards outsiders, but the temperate taverns and these watered-down drinks, inexcusable. I hope I don't seem too forward, but I need to help my friends, and you look like the right person for the job. Which is to say you're not Glonfothan, making you closest thing I've got to an ally in this paranoid land. And allies, well, they help each other, do they not? What do you need? My friends have drawn some unwanted attention. Glonfothan scouts, not just any mob of local zealots, the Fangs. The Fangs are a brutal, relentless bunch, eager to make an example of troublesome outsiders. As for why I need your help, I need someone to warn the expedition that trouble is coming, and I need someone ready to fight if it comes to that. With any luck, we'll reach my friends before the Fangs do, but if not, the Fangs have a reputation to uphold, after all, so this might require spilling some blood. What did your friends do to draw the attention? Just setting foot in Glonfoth is a good way to offend the tribes. I don't know how they picked up our trail. I suspect one of our newer scouts didn't cover his tracks well enough. When I spot the Fangs, they were retracing a path the expedition had taken days before. Tell me about your expedition. I like to think we're on a mission of reclamation. It's said that our armies left behind many valuables in their hasty retreat from Glonfoth at the end of the War of Black Trees. So the way I see it, we're simply gathering up what our ancestors left behind. I doubt the Glonfothans would agree with me on this. My expedition set out from Defiance Bay, heading east directly to cross into Glonfothan lands. I split off once we arrived at the Bale, the natural frontier between our nations. The plan was for me to keep my eyes on the Glonfothans while the main group scoured the target area. For days we eluded them, but the Fangs got wise to our presence. Your friends are trespassing. By local custom, they're criminals. You'll forgive me if I'm not sympathetic with face painters and their barbaric laws. I'm not pretending that what we were doing is noble. I just don't believe trespassing is a crime that warrants execution. Why aren't you with your friends? It was my turn to handle far patrol. I spotted the Fangs on my trek back to camp. I knew that rejoining the main group would risk leading the enemy right back into the expedition. I know the woods and I know how to stay quiet, and I don't want to stake my friends' lives on my ability to sneak past expert hunters. Okay, I'll warn them. Assuming the Thanes didn't already get to them, my friends should be around the Pilgrim's Trail in the North Weald. The plan was to camp along a trail leading to the Temple of Hylia. Okay, fine. Hey, the monks!
Hello!
Hey! I found a dead guy. He's got your stuff. Please, this is of great importance. My brethren, the Arch-Martyr has sent word. At long last, we have now what we need. Thank you, stranger. The honest soul is to be applauded. I admit I was surprised when you handed me the message. I expected the seals to be broken. I'm glad to see common decency is not yet lost in the world. Your honesty must be rewarded. Oh, thanks. The blind monk's venom item. Ooh. Very nice. It sounds like it anyway. All right. Now I don't know if North Weald.
Heravius, do you really believe all that nonsense about being chosen by the gods?
Okay.
I think they choose us with all the care and concern of choosing which fruit to pluck from a tree. I think the gods certainly use us, and I'm not yet convinced there's any greatness in being chosen as such.
Verus. That makes two of us alone in a world of zealots and madmen.
Okay, so it seems like we'll be able to get from Old Song to Northweald. Although I do like that, like chosen. Depends on how much Galloway's Maw. Nom 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 nom. Elms Reach, Noonfrost, Old Song, Galloway's Maw, and Tiberial Isle. Looks like the Temple of Hylia has fallen on hard times. Oh boy. That seems fine. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about it.
We can't stay down here. Someone must go to the nest eventually. Just how are we supposed to worship the Sky Mother from among the weeds, hmm? This is a disgrace.
Calm yourself. We should be grateful that she protected us from the Winged Terror. Besides, even here we have a visitor.
Winged Terror?
A dragon. One that has taken up residence in the nest, the true Temple of Hylia, and slain many of her faithful. And one which Anuin has been in favor of killing from the beginning.
But no, you advised caution. Now word spread that the dragon ate a few of our followers, and anyone willing to slay it wants an Anumphos ransom for the job.
I told you a larger party wouldn't stand a chance. By the time the first half reached the top of the mountain, the second half would still be stuck in the pass. They'd be burned alive. Contrary to Anuin's suggestion, I am in favor of sending someone to kill the dragon. But I suggest a smaller party, and one willing to seek Hylia's blessing.
I could do it.
You could.
Wouldn't be the first dragon I've killed.
What she means is that this is no mere drake, but a fully grown dragon, and one that has willingly moved into a populated area. You'll want every advantage at your disposal, including the blessing of the Sky Mother herself. I would suggest that you petition her directly at Ter Evron, if you haven't already.
Okay. Then I should get started. Oh, okay, so that's Elms Reach. And I might only be able to reach Northweald by going east from Deerfoot's Crossing. I don't really know, to be honest. We've reached the part of the game where my knowledge begins to wane. Glenfathan home, the Old Song District, another home, someone else's house, the Hall of Warriors, the Golden Grove, the Twin Elms, and Ter Evron. I guess I want to see the Twin Elms. Theos Phantom.
You have stayed true to our cause, Inquisitor, when so many others have not. For every heretic we confess, for every betrayer that burns on our pyres, new sheep continue to flock to Iavara ex Incios. But not you. I underestimated you in the beginning, but no longer.
You honor me, Grand Inquisitor.
It is not for honor that I summoned you today, but for duty. Too many of our own have confessed upon the wheel and the rack and the flame. Too many of our faithful have had their minds poisoned by the Kratom witch. The tide is against us now. We have but one option. Iavara's following must see her exposed for what she is. She must confess her heresy before my court.
How are we going to do that?
Not in Kratom, surely. Their lord has embraced her heathen faith and protects her with his army. But in Oceanus, things would be different. The king of Oceanus is a sinful man. We have helped him to see the error of his ways, and now he fears for his soul. He would pay any price for absolution.
And the Kratom Witch will be the price.
You have already done much for the Inquisition. I wouldn't ask this were there any other choice.
I'm guessing he's going to leverage my relationship Ah! Two identical women seem to fade into view as they move away from the great trees that camouflage them. Their skin is tree bark, ridged and scaly, wreathed in a curling tangle of roots, buds, and blooms. Their hair hangs beneath the shade of serrated leaves like the drooping branches of the elms above, and the pupils of their eyes are encircled by hundreds or even thousands of concentric rings, as if to mark the accumulated wisdom of millennia.
Turn around, flesh creature. Outsiders are not permitted to approach the elms.
Do you not feel it, sister? Something familiar. An ancient soul, like the other one. Another defiler, no doubt. Let us fell her and be troubled no more. It would pay the debt of her predecessor.
So it would seem, Rhiannon. But we must not hasten to judgment. I see a different motive here. Different questions in these eyes.
What of it, young trespasser? Is it as my sister says? Or are you here to stain this place with foul deeds?
I have forgotten my purpose in the presence of such legendary beauty. Have I begun hallucinating in double? What can I say? Spoken with the transparent eagerness of one who has deformed little stom and has never successfully transferred Gemmy-to-fights to even the most desperate of pistols, and wouldn't know a carpal if an herbalist drew her a map.
You must excuse my sister's temper, old one. Trust me when I say that my sister and I have truly heard them all. Fortunately, you are easier to read than my sister. You are here for the man Theos Exarchanon. This is clear to me. The answer is yes, old one. We crossed paths with Theos not long ago, and we can tell you where he went. But I find it curious that anyone would seek him out. Suspicious, even. If we are to help you find him, we would know why.
We seem to be linked, and I need to know why.
Ah, so you do. I should have seen it when you first approached.
We are slipping in our advanced age, sister.
I see it now. You are awakened. Your soul is awake, and something once buried deep now wells to the surface. Past overwhelms present, closes in around you. Your time has nearly reached its end.
I just need to get to Theos.
I'm sorry to tell you this, but Theos cannot give you what you seek. Nor can any man. An awakening cannot be undone, any more than your past can be undone.
So all this is for nothing. I'm going to lose my mind.
The soul is formless without a past to shape it. Did you truly expect to be able to wipe it away?
I had to believe in something.
You would rather believe in a comforting falsity than accept a hard truth. A common trait among your kind. Endearing in some ways, but it is an obstruction. A lie within a lie. It is only when you face that truth, abandon hope of salvation, and digest its uncompromising absoluteness, that a soul's true nature is laid bare. However, as much as my sister speaks truly that there is no way back from an awakening, there may yet be a way forward. Would you agree, Sheetha?
I would. Were the way not so likely to end in death.
You underestimate me.
Or perhaps you underestimate your foe, old one. Where your soul is renewed in its ignorance in each span of your life, his only grows in cunning and resolve.
The man Theos you must already know by now. You are linked by a common past. Something about it lingers within you, festering, unresolved. What it is I cannot see any more than you. And without that knowledge, your doom is certain. But were you to learn the source of this discord, perhaps it could be put to rest. Though it is equally possible it will trouble you as much now as it did then, and merely speed your condition to its end.
My past comes to me in pieces. How do I unlock the rest?
You might wait for it to come on its own, of course. But when it comes, it will replace your sanity's last breath. Such is the nature of your condition.
True.
Or you could learn it from someone who already knows.
Theos? Would he remember?
It is said the gods made his memory perfect, that he may never forget his charge. If he ever knew, he still does.
Good.
Not that he would tell you, of course.
You have followed the right person for the wrong reason, it seems. We see it often beneath the elms. The soul dragging mind and body to unknown places for unfathomable reasons. You may have wandered into Theos' path many times, in many lifetimes, without an awakening to show you why.
The only thing that's certain is you did not find what you sought.
You said you knew where he went.
He has gone down beneath the tower to a place older than we, where the people of Engwith once walked. He makes his way to the buried city, Sun and Shadow.
May he stay down there and rot with the remains of his people.
He may yet. He won't be returning the way he came, that much is certain. He opened a secret path in the tower's base, and saw it destroyed behind him through some vile means.
Is there another way?
We know of one. On the burial isle, through the court of the penitents, Braeth Yaman. A shortcut, in fact.
Don't be cruel, sister. The way my sister speaks of is not for the faint of heart. A great pit at the center of a forgotten court, where faiths were judged in place of crimes. To most, it is simply a gateway to death. With the help of the gods, it can take you where you want to go.
Help of the gods, you say?
The pit is said to have been a means of judgment by the gods. Those cast into it are meant to die. It is that way you must pass to reach Sun and Shadow. The court is old. We do not know much for certain, but it would seem only the gods themselves can grant passage.
What is this court?
No more than a ruin now. It is older than we. A place for the trial of heretics.
Oh no.
We were not here to witness it, but at one time there was a group that refused to acknowledge the gods. Neither the first nor the last, of course, but these were numerous and all put on trial for it. Those who did not repent were cast into the pit and imprisoned below. The fall killed them, of course. The prison was not for people but for their souls, and their sentences were eternal. It is said that many of the condemned repented and were permitted by the gods to ascend from the pit, so long as they pledged their service to one of them. But these are old legends.
How would I get the gods to help me?
Behind us is Ter Evron, said to pierce the shroud itself and a place of communion with all gods. If ever there was a time for prayer, you have found it.
Who should I pray to? Any god you can, I should think.
I would pray first to those gods you like best. I hope for your sake the feeling is shared.
How do I pray? How does that work?
Ter Evron is also called the Hall of Stars, and the stars show us the allegiances of the gods. When stars are in conjunction, we know the gods they represent are aligned as well. You should choose a place to pray where you'll be closest to those you want to hear you. If a god stands alone, you should pray to that god. If they band together, you should address them all. Choose your words wisely, for all gods expect proper homage, and none has patience for fools.
So the only way to get through this pit is to pray for help?
Not the only way. Just the only one that doesn't end with your body impaled on jagged rocks.
So what are my other questions?
What do you wish to know?
You mentioned that people come to these elms without knowing why. A soul has a will of its own. Its needs and whims are seldom understood, but they follow them all the same.
There is something about this place that reaches beyond our understanding. Something like a beacon. The Elms have a way of uniting souls that have been seeking one another, with or without their owner's awareness.
Alright.
Sometimes it is for love, sometimes for vengeance, sometimes for peace. Often it is for no reason we will ever know. In your case, let us hope it is for peace.
Or vengeance.
Who are you two?
There is little to be said about us, for we are bound here, caretakers and defenders of this place. Our journey has been over time, but not distance, measured in observations, but not experiences. We have seen the elms grow tall. We have seen cities built, burned, and built again. The only constant has been the tower, a silent companion through the ages. You can imagine why this recent destruction has stirred my sister so.
The deepest wound on the oldest friend.
If you do nothing else, make that man pay for what he did here.
Thank you.
Before you go, tell me this, old one. I'm curious. If you were to subdue your enemy, what would you do with him? What would give you peace?
I would return him to the to the wheel of life and death. It's what's supposed to happen.
Why let him off so easily? You would need a grove of elms like these to create enough parchment to write down his crimes against the world. There must be some greater punishment you can exact.
Letting him become forgotten to the ages, his soul to finally pass on, I could think of no greater punishment than a man of ego like him.
All the same, think on this matter. Be assured in your course. In the end, it may mean all the difference, not just to his soul, but to yours. And be warned. Some questions have answers that can never be learned, and it is those that trouble the soul above all others. May you find an answer to yours.
Thank you. Alrighty then. We will go into the temple next time on Pillars of Eternity. Squealy